All right, War Robots fans, this is Bagofsoup coming at you with a new test server. This is for March 11th and 12th, 2017. This is test server 2.7 point something or other. And what we're testing this weekend is, of course, the new prototype Dashbot. This is the Mark II. Now, we had tested the Mark I a couple of weeks back, and it had two medium guns. It was a little faster. It had a faster dash ability and no shield. But last weekend and this weekend, they've been testing the Mark II Dashbot, which has a slower dash ability. It has a slower cooldown time. They lowered it from 7 seconds to 12 seconds now. It does have the third medium weapon. The look has changed this past 2 weekends from what it was with the Mark I. The speed was also reduced from last weekend's 50 miles an hour or so, or kilometers an hour, down to 45. And so we're just testing out this Dashbot. We don't know if there is a Mark I and a Mark II, like a light and medium version, or if this is just an updated version of the original. But we will find out, I'm sure, coming up soon. So we outfitted one of the dashes with Terrans, one with Orkans, one with Columbus, and also this weekend they're testing out the Firearms speedup. So I've outfitted this Galahad with Punishers, and for a little more long-range fire, the Griffin with molots, and they should have a mechanic that speeds up the guns after so many seconds. It says 3 seconds after so it doubles its rate of fire, and we'll test that out and see how it looks here. And also, I think on Springfield, they've changed the spawn points around a little bit, and we'll see if that makes a difference. As a matter of fact, we're getting Springfield first, so we'll jump in. As you can see, people are spawning right into the riverbed, and I think the match already started, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in. And a couple things to note with the Dashbot. I really enjoyed the Dashbot in the first couple test server weekends. I liked the 60 kilometer an hour speed. I thought that was great. I liked that it had two medium guns. It didn't feel too overpowering. And it didn't have a shield of any kind, so it had its limitations, but it had a very fast dash speed every 5 or so seconds, and it had the 60 kilometers an hour speed, and plus you still could run two medium weapons, so it was very much like a Regatka in that in those kind of stats, except for the Regatka could jump higher, and this bot could dash farther and faster. So those were the big differences. And then, of course, last weekend we had the new test server where they switched it around to the Mark II. And, of course, with the Mark II, it was moving slower. It had 3 medium guns instead of 2. And it now had a built-in ancile shield, like a Carnage or a Fujin. More like a Carnage, just because you could turn it off and on at will. Unlike a Fujin, it was just on all the time like a Carnage. So it had some limitations, were a little slower than before, but the issue was that you had a lot more firepower now instead to compensate. And honestly, I didn't like it as much. I didn't really get to play with it a ton. I just got to watch a lot of other people play and played with it a few times. What I did like about it was with 3 medium weapons, I feel like I could use different setups more than normal. With only 2 medium weapons, I really only felt like I could run the Terrans and the Orkans, kind of like a ROG. I think anything else would just feel underpowered. But with the 3 medium weapons, a lot more options opened up. For example, I felt like I could run long-distance weapons like Punishers, Molots, Columbus, things like that I really didn't want to try with just 2 guns. So that was nice. But then once again, and the ancile shield was nice. But then when you lose the speed of it, and it's a little slower, and the dash cooldown takes a little longer, I was wondering if it just kind of lost the ability that it was designed for. It was designed to be a fast beacon runner and flanker. And then now that it's slowed down and the dash ability has slowed down, can it really do what it was intended for? It's definitely stronger and has that ancile shield, but at what cost? And so to me, it feels like this new dash is more of a jack of all trades, but master of none in a sense. And So I'm not really sure that I enjoy the new dash for what it is at this time. And so we'll be interested to see, is this a new version of an update, or is this an entirely different bot? And maybe there'll be a line of dash bots, like a light, medium, and heavy version. So we've got a guy over here at our beacon point. One of the issues with all these dash bots this weekend is with all the ancile shields out there, it's really hard to run this with anything but plasma weapons. Because you've got to break through every single shield of every dash bot you face. So a lot of guys are just running Terrans on them, and to me, you don't really get a good sense of how this bot is going to operate in the wild when you're facing other types of bots like shield bots and regular bots, of course. So if you want big damage, of course, on the test server, just run a bunch of Terrans and you're going to do great. But if you want to test out things against other setups, then you're going to need to experiment with it. So I am going to run Orkans on mine. I want to test it out when I do run into other bots. But right now we're just facing another dash, so it makes it tough. I'd like to be able to jump into this guy's shield and try and take him out inside, but of course he can do the same to me. So far we've outdone him and not really taken much damage, which has been nice, and had a buddy here to help take him out. So yeah, one of the pluses of this new setup, the Mark II, is that really you can run every single kind of medium weapon that there is. It's great with Terrans and Orkans, but you really can do Tulumbus. You can do Hydras for mid-range. You can do Molots and Punishers and feel like you've got enough firepower to justify it. Although I think with the speed, you're probably going to see a lot of Terrans and Orkans on it mostly. But I could see Tulumbus, like the guy next to me here, I could see that being a great mid-range, kind of like a Fujin with Tulumbus, but with the faster speed, and you still have that shield. So, all right, we got to get in range if we're going to take any of these guys out. So some of the guys are testing out the dash bot, of course, and some are testing out the new Firearms speed up. Looks like they're all hanging out over here at Center Beacon, so we'll see if we can work on some of these non-shielded bots here. Like we got that Griffin right ahead of us, so we got him taken out. And that's what I'd like to see, is I'd like to see this guy in action against bots like this Galahad here, when you don't have an ancile shield to break through here. Alright, because 3 mediums is definitely a lot of firepower. Now there's a Fury. Let's see if we can get in range of this guy. Oh, see? Got blocked by an ancile right when we went that direction. Okay, we don't want to mess with that Terran one. The Terran dash is definitely going to take out a ancile dash every time. See if we can nail this Fury before he kills us here. Well, he got us. So, at this point, let's jump into the Galahad and test out some firearms. I've been trying the firearms the last 2 weekends, the Punishers and Molots. I haven't been too happy with the Molots. They're not bad. They're just not very powerful, but they have the extra range. But I've always been a fan of the Punishers ever since the December update. I think they've been running pretty good. And so I think if the little speed up's only going to help even more. Alright, so let's see if we can get in range at any of these guys. Nope, we've ended the match early. And we'll see how we did. Well, we did pretty good there. I don't really remember doing all that damage, but we used the Terran dash, and we used the Orkan dash. That was really it. Didn't really get in firing range with the Galahad Punishers to do anything, so almost did 1 million damage there. We got 4 beacons, so that was real helpful. And I really, didn't do much with the spawn points on Shenzhen or on Springfield there. We started in the riverbed, not up on the dam, up on top where you can snipe, so I think that's helpful. So a lot of people don't start up there as snipers. And then hopefully everyone's got equal access to Center Beacon, which was one of the big issues. So let's jump into another map and see how we do here. And we're going to go ahead and keep the same setups. We still want to test out the Punishers and Molots. Haven't gotten to really test out the Tulumbus on the dash yet here. But once again, if we're going to use the Orkans and Tulumbus on the dash, we have to Try not to hit other dashes with them because they won't be as effective with those shields. We're jumping in the same map again, and also in the riverbed. We got to watch out for those long-range snipers. So I'm gonna go ahead and head over to the left here. And while this guy caps that beacon, I'm gonna go ahead and head to center beacon and get behind some cover. Because one of the issues with the dash, of course, is going to be the lack of a physical shield. And I saw a Fury with Zeus. Now, I see Phoenix over on the other side. He's a pretty well-known YouTuber, and I was just watching his video earlier, which is kind of funny. And so we'll see if we can get in range of him. He's probably going to hold back and keep his distance, I'm sure. So let's try and look around the corner, see what he's running. Hey, Phoenix. Yeah, he's running the Raijin long range here. Let's wait for this guy to get in range. He's got the shield, so we're going to have to do some corner shooting on him to preserve our shield. One thing I do like about the dash now is they've moved the guns to make it a little easier to corner shoot than it did before, which is real helpful. So I've liked that because the previous versions made it really hard to corner shoot. So when he turns his shield sideways, that gives us a chance to work into him there. So he's taken out. We're watching, of course, Phoenix. Let's see if we can sneak in on this guy a little bit. I don't think we'll be able to. Plus, he's got, yeah, they've got a lot of guys working on us here. Yeah, so that didn't work out so well. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and work on some of these guys with our molots here. We'll test out our molots on Mr. Phoenix over here, our buddy, and see if he recognizes us here. Oh man, we're in range of that. We're in range of that Fury. Let's get out of here. Oh man, we're stuck. How do we get stuck there? Alright, let's work on that Fury here. And we'll test out our gun speed ups and see how they're working. Alright, we've got a Fury over there to deal with. Our Carnage Zeus there. So Phoenix has dropped out of his sniper bot into something else, and we're whittling down this Fury just with our last two little guns here. Yeah, we got stuck. That was not cool. Getting stuck over there. Let's go ahead and jump into something else. And we'll see if we can help out our teammates here a little bit. Alright, they got a bunch of ancile shield guys in here. That Carnage Zeus and some other things. So we're going to try to whittle them down a little bit. And this guy's going for our beacon, so we got to watch for him. Alright, we still got that same Carnage messing with people. Let's try and get out of here so we can work on him. Alright, here's that Carnage. Yeah, this is getting a little exciting in here, so I'm going to kind of wait for a second and watch my back. Wow, everywhere you turn, you're getting blasted here. Alright, so he's gone. There's Phoenix. Let's see if we can get close enough into Phoenix to take him out here. Alright, we're in range. Alright, got some good shots into Phoenix here. A few more ought to finish him off here. Let's see if we can take him out here. Got him. Alright. Alright, that was fun. And we do have a Fury up here. Let's see if we can get to him. Man, I feel like we're stuck on something. What is the deal? Alright, here comes Phoenix. Be ready. Alright, let's see what we got here. Close match, but we're starting to run out of guys here. Very close. Alright, now we got a Leo we're going to need to deal with, so we'll go ahead and work on him. And like I said, we really got to test out the firearm speed up here. We haven't done a lot of that testing yet. We'll give it a shot here in just a moment. We're going to start backing off from Phoenix here. Yeah, this was a tough one. I feel pretty surrounded here, so we didn't get to do much. See if we can just get a couple shots on that Leo in before we're done. Yeah, pretty tough round with the setups that we're experimenting with here, but we did our best. Let's see here. Pilot Bill was first place on the blue team here. We'll see what he was running. And see, once again, the Dash Terran is going to be the most popular setup, and it's definitely worth checking out and running. I don't see a purpose to run 5 of them. You know, you can test out 1 or 2 of them and test out some other things, but obviously you're going to get top damage if you're running something like that. I mean, we got right behind him and at least got to test out a bunch of different things, which I think is important on the test server. Notice our guns here on the Galahad and the Griffin. They look lit up as if they have gone into accelerated mode after 3 seconds. Kind of a cool look visually there, like they're heated up. And we're going to check the other team. Red team, the top guy there, was running a bunch of different setups on the Dash. Of course, 2 Terrans, 2 Orkans, and Punisher, so I'm not surprised that he would do top damage with a setup like that. And of course, Phoenix is probably having some fun and just testing out different things, because he's already recorded his video for the weekend. He's probably testing out some regular bots just to see what they would do against these dashes, which is just as important as anything else. Looks like he had reset and started over to get more gold to test out new things. So anyway, that was fun. We'll jump into one more match. and see how it goes here. And we're still going to be testing out the molots, the punishers, and the dashes. Of course, we got Springfield the third time again. And now it looks like we've got a different spawn point. We've got the city versus city spawn point. So it looks like the one that they got rid of is when you start here where we're at, and then the other team starts at the farm, which gives a huge disadvantage to the one that starts over on the city side because they can't get to center beacon very easily to hold it. So makes a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and head over to the center beacon here and see if we can grab that and try and hold it. We've got a Zeus. I'm going to run away from this Zeus bot. He's going to hit me in the butt here. But let's start to run away from him because we have nothing to defend against him. And we'll approach the center beacon with cover here. Alright, so yeah, one of the big weaknesses of the dash is going to be long distance trebuchets, geckos, Zeuses, and bots like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and approach center, and then we'll try and hold it off from whoever's coming this way. We've got a dash there, and not sure what else yet. Here comes somebody. So we're going to try and hit this shield bot from the side until he notices us, and he jumped out. He moved out of range. So we've got another. Here he comes again. We'll try to minimize his ability to hit us here. And let's work on that dash because we know that he's got the same lack of shield that we do, but we'll use some corner shooting if we can here to try to protect ourselves as good as possible. And then I'm going to jump across as best as I can. That jump didn't go very far. Let's see if we can break this guy's shield any bit. Alright, we did break the shield, but just couldn't take him out. We'll go ahead and jump into the Orkin version of the dash and see how it does. And I'd be curious if you have a comment or a question or a request for the test server this weekend, you can leave it in the comment section below. But I'd be curious just to see what your thoughts are on the Mark II Dashbot. Personally, I really liked the original Dash better that had the faster speed. It had a great purpose. It was great to go for beacons and great to flank other bots. It had more speed and a faster dash cooldown. But of course, it didn't have a shield, and it also didn't have the third medium weapon. So it wasn't super powerful. It wasn't much different than a Regatka, other than instead of a jump like that over there, it just had the fast dash ability. What we're going to try to do is we can't take this guy out with our Orkins, but we could try to jump into his shield. So if we can bait him to jump first, we need to get a beacon, of course. Let's see, he's jumped first, so let's jump in close to him. And we're going to try to shoot him from inside his shield and see if we can take him out faster here. He's taking us out pretty fast because he's got a helpful teammate there. But we took out most of them, and that's the issue. If you're going to fight Dash versus Dash, the only possible weapon that's any good this weekend is Terrans. So there's no reason really not to run just a bunch of plasma weapons this weekend because we're going to see dashes everywhere. But what I want to do is I want to try the different setups just to see how effective they are with it against other bots. So we're going to jump in with the accelerated punishers. First we had to break the Dash's shield, of course, which we did, and then we can try to whittle him down from there. Of course, right when we're breaking his shield, we run out of bullets, so we'll have to wait a little bit. And we got 3 dashes to worry about here. Alright, so let's see if we can minimize his ability to hit us while we work on this other one and finish him off. So we got one of them done. And see our guns light up after 3 seconds? I took the guns out of accelerated mode, and of course after a second they slow down from there. So you have to keep them going pretty continuously to use. Now if we want to stay in this game, we've really got to catch up because we're pretty far behind. So I will go for center and just see if we can get over there and see if we can take out this dash bot on the way here. These guys are kind of hard to hit with their speed. Yeah, I need to put up my shield, but I didn't want to let go of the the accelerated button. That's why I didn't put the shield up right away. You do have at least a second that you're able to let go of the button or switch targets on auto lock or do something and then still keep the accelerated fire. So I doubt we'll get to this beacon, so this will probably be our last match here on the test server. But just curious about your thoughts on the dash bot. Would you like the old one with the 2 guns or the new one with the slower speed, the 3 guns, and the shield? Or curious what you think about the speed up punishers and molots. What you think about that? Of course, the big issue for me, if you're going to run the punishers or molots, is the fact that there's a lot more ancile shields out there now. You got the Carnage shield and the Fujin and the ancile shield that have all had the double damage bug fixed, so they're twice as strong as they used to be. So you have to deal with those. And plus, it is hard to hit fast-moving bots or jumping bots with the firearms. So you got to deal with that. Whereas plasma weapons like Terrans and Magnums can do it pretty well. Even geckos and lasers can do pretty well. The molots still don't seem super strong, but we got to take out, in the second match there, we did get to take out that Fury Zeus from a distance, which was real helpful. But we can outrange them. Like I said, I don't know what to think on the dash right now. I'd like to think that the Mark 1 dash I would have bought as it was with the faster speed and the 2 guns. This dash bot Mark 2 just feels like a jack of all trades. It's trying to be a little bit of everything. Powerful enough, some speed with the special ability and the built-in shield. And I kind of feel like it's lost its purpose in all of that. And so there's not really a reason to run this when you can run a Galahad or run a Carnage or something like that. It hasn't really differentiated itself really well yet. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on the test server. We only got to see Springfield map. We didn't get to see any others. But like I said, if you liked the video, click like. If you have any requests for the rest of the weekend for me to test out, let me know in the comments below. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, we'll have some more videos coming this week, so please subscribe, and we'll notify you of anything new. That's it, and I hope you have a blessed War Robots Day. Thanks a lot.